Welcome to WWP Clips. This is the official Clips channel for We Want Picks. We will be uploading our individual fight breakdown videos here, so make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. And as always, go to wewantpicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. Next up at UFC 276, we have a couple of aging vets going at it. I mentioned this card is loaded with aging vets, and we've got 2 head-to-head. What is this stupid face you're making? What?
Well, one of these guys is a very aging vet, and one of these guys is not.
You're making a face like, geez, Alouche. Anyway, Jim Miller taking on Donald Cowboy Cerrone. This is a rematch. They share an insane amount of UFC records between the two of them. Donald Cerrone, as you know, stepping up on short notice after that Joe Lozon fight was canceled for the second time. This fight is at welterweight instead of lightweight, which is what Donald cut to last week. So Jim Miller, 36-16 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, riding a 2-fight knockout streak. Donald Cerrone, 34-16 overall, 0-4-1 in his last 5. And he's come off a pair of canceled fights with Joe Lozon. And Jim Miller's a legend. Both these guys are, but Jim Miller's a legend. He has multiple records in the UFC for longevity. He has a very good grappler with clean boxing and just okay wrestling. He has all the veteran savvy, toughness, and grit you could ever want from a fighter, but he is older. His chin's starting to go. His speed is starting to go. The durability is starting to go. And I'm not sure how many fights he has left in him. But with that being said, he's on a 2-fight win streak with 2 knockouts over UFC prospects. Tried and true grappler Jim Miller has found power in his hands at 39 years old. And Donald Cerrone is a fun striker with incredible kicks and sneaky power. He's a slow starter, but once he hits his rhythm, he flows really well and puts together incredible combinations. But he isn't just a striker. He's got slick submissions. He can use scrambles really well, uses length well. He snatches arm bars and triangles off his back. He has 47 fights under the UFC WEC umbrella, and he has literally fought everyone there was to fight at 155 and 170. He has wins over current champion Charles Oliveira, former champion Eddie Alvarez, former champion Benson Henderson, and so many more. And this is an interesting fight, and I think this is a much harder fight for Cowboy than Lozon was. I thought Cowboy was going to dominate Lozon. Like, I was so positive. This is a very different fight. Very different fight. Because Jim Miller, I'm not so sure. And this is a rematch I mentioned from 2014, and Cowboy did knock out Jim Miller in that fight. But 2014 was Cowboy's prime. He was in the middle of an 8-fight win streak, and that led to his one and only title shot. 2022 is a much different story, and I think I like Jim Miller here. And that is based solely on the fact that he has those knockout wins in his last 2 fights. Cowboy should absolutely be the more technical fighter. And if he's made all these life changes that he's talking about, he changed gyms, I can't train myself anymore, my son needs to watch me get a win, I've changed my whole life, then he may look amazing. But this is more of the old Donald Cerrone. Short notice fight at the wrong weight class. And I get it. The circumstances, he was fight last week, but this is just more of the old Donald Cerrone here. So I like Jim Miller to win this fight, but I did sprinkle a little bit. Plus 180, 2 old guys. Donald Cerrone is still Donald Cerrone. I sprinkled just a touch on Donald Cerrone to win this fight as well. Plus 180, this should be, Jim Miller should be minus 150, not minus 210. What do you think?
Minus 210, I put 2.1 units on Jim Miller to get a unit back. I love Jim Miller in this fight. Listen, obviously I'll probably be rooting for nothing against Jim Miller, but I think everyone's going to be rooting for Cowboy. First of all, pray to God that this fight happens. You know, I hope that Cowboy finally gets on the card. And if he ends up winning this fight, it's got to be one of the more impressive wins of his career, not only because of the bounce back from all the losses, but mentally, he's got to be so drained from like he was so hyped up to fight. I mean, he was crying at the press conferences like my son's gonna get me to get to watch me fight. The crowd and everything. Then it cancels. Then he comes back. He's making weight again, and then it cancels the day of the fight. The day of the fight again. It's like Jesus Christ. Now he's fighting the week later, up in weight. If he comes back and is mentally strong enough to stay aggressive, because his whole thing was, I want to be aggressive. I want to be aggressive. I'm never aggressive. I want to be aggressive. Unfortunately, it feels like this is just going to be like the most typical, as you mentioned, the Cowboys going to come in, slow start. Jim Miller's going to jump all over him. As you mentioned, Jim Miller, they've been trying to like make him a gatekeeper, and he's been knocking out all the prospects they put in front of him. He's kind of on the second surge uptrend of his career where Cowboy's been down and out. And Cowboy was training against a guy that, as you mentioned, Joe Lauzon, not super dangerous. Jim Miller was training to fight Bobby King Green. That was going to be a real deal, action-filled. If I win this fight, I'm back up, getting close to rankings type situation if I'm beating Bobby Green. So as far as like the training camps are going, Jim Miller's going to be more than ready for whoever was going to be put in front of him. And lucky for him, he's getting the Cowboy that unfortunately has been kind of down and out lately. So my money definitely is on Jim Miller. He should win this fight, but I'm definitely going to be rooting for Cowboy 100%. And it's a shame that I think it's going to be the prelim opener, so hopefully some fans get in there early and show the Cowboy the respect that he and the love that he deserves. But it's Vegas, and usually they don't fill up that stadium until the main event of the main card. So my pick is Jim Miller.
It is fun. Poor Donald, right? He went from pay-per-view slot to co-main event fight night to prelim opener. Like, granted, it is on ABC. So that did you realize that?
I did.
You mean it? Yeah. So it is on ABC. So there may be a ton of eyes on it, and that's probably why they did it. Frankly, open it up, expecting it to be a bang, and people love Cowboy and whatever. That's probably why they did it. But it has been a ride. I think Jim Miller wins. But listen, plus 180. That means I can almost triple my money. If I give you 100, you give me 380 back. Like, yeah, I'll take it. Anyway, DraftKings, $8,700. You think Jim Miller gets the finish?
Yeah, he might, but I don't trust it.
Okay, very helpful. Yeah, I mean,
$8,700.
$8,700.
Question answer. I don't know what you mean.
$8,700. I do think
That's
I said
typically how
$380 back.
conversations work.
You don't. I'll get $280 back, not $380. Anyway, $8,700
back in your hand.
Yeah, exactly. I think you pick your side because I think there's a genuine argument to make for Donald Cerrone winning this fight. I think
that you're misleading the people. Honestly, I mean, Jesus Christ. I know that you were high on him versus Joe Lauzon.
Who's the better fighter?
And that's
Who's
fine.
the better actual fighter? Age and recent record not a factor.
Like in the guy. Prime?
Yeah,
you're talking about in their
just
prime.
in general.
Yeah, in their prime. Yeah, in their prime.
Not
I'll
even
take Donald
prime.
Cerrone.
Not even prime.
You can't say who's a better fighter now. The Cowboy is not even a shell of what he was.
Skill for skill, Donald Cerrone is better. Except for raw jiu-jitsu. Except for raw jiu-jitsu, Donald Cerrone is better across the board. I think Jim Miller wins this fight.
Everyone in the chat, please help me.
I think Jim Miller wins this fight. My point is, people are just like assuming Donald Cerrone is an absolute bum. If you look, yes, his recent record is not great. Those are good losses. They're good losses. So Jim Miller's the pick. But Donald Cerrone is not this just bag of trash everybody thinks he is. Anyway, Monkey Knife Fight, more or less? I think more. I don't think there's a quick stoppage here. I do think this goes probably to a decision or close to it. I could be wrong. Jim Miller could come in here and just, Alex Morono, Donald Cerrone.
Well, I mean, this feels like like Conor McGregor Donald, where Jim Miller's just gonna pressure forward, hit him with one shot, and Donald's gonna be like, "Holy shit, I gotta get out of here, man. I'm going home."
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm probably not gonna touch the Monkey Knife Fight, and the only reason I think it was a half a unit, maybe a quarter of a unit. The only reason I did it on Donald is because those are solid odds. And listen, Jim Miller, this 2-fight win streak is amazing. But they were against UFC debuts, young UFC debuts. And before that, he had his own losing streak. So I think Jim Miller wins this fight. But to have these guys separated like this is insane to me. That's nuts.
Well, everyone
One
that's
of them
put
will
money
be
on
in the
is
Hall of
separating
Fame.
them.
Donald Cerrone will end up in the Hall of Fame. Jim Miller will not. It's that simple. And and Donald Cerrone's younger, so I get it. That doesn't matter, especially fight years. But pretending Donald Cerrone's 68 years old and Jim Miller's 30.
Is he going to make it though? I mean, if he keeps losing, they might not even let him in at this point.
He'll be in. And if you want in on 50 free bucks, go to weonpicks.com/bets. Sign up, make a deposit. We send you $50 as a thank you. That's weonpicks.com/bets.